Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Welcome everybody to the program. We're live. We're live. Today is May 23rd in the year 2023. Do you have children? Have you ever been a child? Have you ever been in front of an angry college professor who told you you're violent and stupid? Simply for stating your position on something as controversial as abortion. Angry, radicalized college professors. And what about the debt ceiling? What about the debt ceiling? $28 trillion and counting. Should the United States be have the privilege of unlimited debt forever and ever? Trillions. Trillions of dollars in debt. Bryan Kohberger, the alleged killer in Iowa. Right, Iowa? Is that where he is? Iowa. Idaho, excuse me. Bryan Kohberger, the Idaho alleged killer who shot down 4 people, didn't plead anything, said not guilty through the judge by being silent. Bryan Kohberger, silent. The silent Bryan Kohberger. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to the program. My name is Marcus Conti. And we are live. We're live. Welcome, everybody. That's our angry college professor today. Have you ever met one of these? Have you ever seen one of these before? Let's go. Hey, welcome, everybody. Marcus Conti reporting. How are you, man? How's everybody doing, man? Welcome to the program. Today is, as I said, May 23rd, the end of May, right? We're already in mid-spring, end of spring. Here in the northeast of Pennsylvania, it's been rather cold at night. I tell you, we've been getting like 40 degrees, some even plunging down into the 30s. But the daytimes are beautiful. Oh my God, 70 and sunny, 80 and sunny, beautiful weather. Beautiful weather, a chance to enjoy yourself, a chance to do some spring cleaning, throw out all your other garbage. All right, throw out the garbage, get new garbage. Switch out your old garbage for new garbage. What is old garbage is just garbage, but what is new will someday be old garbage. So, yeah, we'll talk about those subjects. Welcome, everybody in the chat. Vinny D. Martini in the house. These are our regular tried and true people that have all of their lights on, not including me, whom sometimes my lights are on. TJ in the house. It's Cooter. David Brown. What's up, David Brown? Sedento. Hello, Josephine. Josephine is in the house. Champs. And Clayton Burgess. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to the program today. And it's a Tuesday. Like I said, oh, yeah, let's one of my new favorite bands. Check this shit out, man. Emil and the Sniffers. Oh, yeah, I'm digging it. Looks like music's taking a step back to the late 70s, early 80s. It's like the Ramones meet Courtney Love. It's the Ramones with... Loving it. It's a very good mix, too. Very good mix. Now, music, it really is the Ramones. He's Johnny Ramone, you know. He's Johnny Ramone on guitar. I would love to see music go back in this direction, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Ammo in the sniffers. Ammo in the sniffers. So this is my thumbnail today. This is the Angry Professor. I noticed, I don't think anybody else did notice, but if you notice in the background of her angry picture that she posted, there's a picture of bull cutters, big ass bull cutters hanging on the back of her door. Bull cutters for a bull dyke, maybe? What are the bull cutters for? Well, bull cutters are designed to break and enter and or steal bicycles. Right? Every bicycle thief in New York City has one of these things stuffed up their ass somewhere. And they walk around, and you can cut through a fence with this thing. You can cut off locks. Right? If somebody tries to lock you out, you can cut that shit off. Right? So why is this college professor even showing a picture? What is she doing? Is she inciting violence? Well, she certainly did at a Hunter College. Hunter College, it's on Lexington Avenue in the 60s in the heart of Manhattan. It's a community college. Anybody is allowed to attend. It's not a ritzy elite school. Hunter. I've been in the lobby many times. I don't think I've never taken any classes there, but I've certainly been to Hunter. And so there's a lobby there. I know the lobby right by the train station. Right by the 6 train, the green lines, the 456. 456, yeah, run right through it. And so a bunch of young men, students of the school, I imagine if they're students, they have student IDs, they're allowed to be there. And they're in the lobby of Hunter College, promoting or talking about pro-life and what that means to them, right? And then the angry professor comes along to tell them that their messaging is violent, right? The violent professor with a leaning towards chopping people's locks off and being fucking angry is telling kids who are trying to protect babies, unborn babies, that they're violent. So we'll look at that insane story. The debt ceiling in America, this is real. United States is privileged to not really needs to give a shit about its debt. Because why? It's the military-industrial complex. We have guns and bombs and airplanes and missiles pointed at everybody on the globe. And if you disagree with us about anything, you're likely to be at the receiving end of those ammunitions in some form or another. It could end up being Ukraine, where bombs are and guns are traded in for whatever. But the debt ceiling keeps creeping up. And is it sustainable? Right now, Joe Biden and House Speaker McCarthy, are sitting in the Oval Office discussing the debt ceiling, raising it. Now, the Republicans have historically said that the United States can't sustain all this debt, but they're in there negotiating to raise the debt ceiling. And if we don't raise the debt ceiling, that means that theoretically people are not going to get paid, which has never happened in American history. Remember that if federal workers in America, for example, people that are on the federal payroll suddenly don't get paid, right? Do you know what a fucking free fall that's going to be? Do you know how much damage to the trust of the system that creates? People in America don't get paid for their work because they have too much debt, and the government is enslaving them and making them work for free. Right? So the idea that the debt ceiling that there is a debt ceiling is fictional, really. I don't know the answer to it. I don't have a solution. I can only wonder about just how high that number is going to go. I think we're at $28 trillion debt ceiling, meaning that any money that the government owes, they just simply pay it, and with money that doesn't really exist. And the debt that we owe goes up, whether it's through writing treasury bills. But the reality is, if we have $28 trillion or $30 trillion in debt, and the people that we're in debt to, like Saudi Arabia, Japan, certainly China, that hold our treasuries, if they should decide to cash in on that debt, meaning we want our fucking money and we want it now. Right? You owe us $5 trillion because we have these treasuries that say so. If the United States were to default on that, that would be the end of the dollar, first of all. But the United States won't default on anything. Why? Because we got a gun pointing at your head. Oh, yeah? You're going to demand your money from us? Hey, you know that enemy that wants to blow you up? Well, we're going to step out of the way and let him do it. And we'll even give him the guns and the bombs and the planes to blow you up. That's how critical that situation is. That's how insane to think that the United States is going to default on their debt, because business is done in dollars. So it's convoluted and mostly fiction that the debt ceiling will be capped somewhere at some time, because it won't. There's no other way to get the money. What are you going to do? Keep taxing people that don't have the money? There isn't enough money. Even if you taxed every fucking person in America, you're still not going to get up to $30 trillion to pay it. So anyway, we'll look at that story. And what else? Bryan Kohberger, the Idaho killer, said that unequivocally was silent. He didn't say anything. So he showed up at his arraignment on 4 murder raps and was silent, which the judge then enters a plea of not guilty on his behalf. Now, I don't know why Kohberger went silent. There's probably a legal, technical reason why he did that, because he's a savvy, legal, technical guy with a doctorate in criminology. And he decided to not say anything, and that kind of, I guess, infuriates people. I don't know, man. I still don't know. There is no witness. There is no really direct evidence other than some DNA on a sheath somewhere. I don't know. It's still. I still say that there could be other suspects in that case, but nonetheless, Bryan Kohberger puts in a plea of not guilty. So we are going to see a trial like never before, man. A trial like never before. As I said, Marcus Conte, this is my website, marcusconte.com. Every morning we're live at 9 a.m. And right here on YouTube. If you want to help out, go to shorthappylife@gmail.com via Zelle, and make a nice contribution. Also, you can do it through PayPal and Patreon. That's how we support the program. There's no other way to do it. Let's start here on a good note. Not so good for the guy, but certainly a good deed. California father killed walking ducks across street. Remembered for final act of kindness. So this guy was driving along. And he came across this right here. He came across a bunch of a duck and the ducklings, and he was whooshing them away, right, off the street. And he effectively did that and got the ducks to safety, which is fucking great, right? And then, while he turns around and walks away, a 17-year-old erratic driver kills him. It was an accident, they say. No DUI, no DWI reported, but some young person just whacked him by accident or whatever. Of course, the driver is cooperating with authorities and currently not facing charges. Makeshift memorial was set up. Rubber duckies and flowers were set up. We still have a lot of areas and evidence to sort out, says the police. But at first look, it does not look like there's going to be any criminal negligence. Right. It was just a fucking young kid that, the guy's walking across the busy street and he gets hit by a car. Right? Maybe he wasn't paying attention. You got to give the kid the benefit of the doubt. He didn't do it intentionally, and it was certainly qualifies as an accident. But it makes you wonder, right? The good deed, right? You know how many stars this guy gets in heaven for doing this, saving the ducks. People eat ducks. This guy's out there saving them. And here's a good one for you. If you ever, hey criminals, what would happen to you if you tried to rob a gun store? Right? You go into a gun store and you say, "Oh, this guy's got fucking money, man. They got money and guns. So let's go in and steal the money and the guns, right?" And so a bunch of hoodies walk in, and this happens. Watch. Watch the hoodies come in. They come in the door. Oh shit! They got guns. Oh shit! Watch this. Watch how quick watch how fast. Bang, bang. The store owner fucking kills both of them. Right? Come here, motherfucker. I'll get another one for you. That's how you do it, man. How stupid? How fucking stupid are you to... this is like 2016. But anyway, how fucking stupid can you be to rob... Look how fast this guy shot. The guy with the gray hair down in the... He must have dropped down, too. He must have dropped down, too, because the glass in the case broke. You see how the glass in the case dropped? So he dropped down and he shot through the glass. He was smart. Very smart. He went down. He probably went down on one knee, right? Bang. He went down, shot. Good shot. Good job, man. Good job. Clear out the trash. That was fucking sick, man. That was stupid ass, right? Dumbass. Yeah, man, we're gonna rob the fucking gun store, man. The fucking white motherfucker got all the money and the guns, and let's go in there and get some fucking money, man. Let's get some money, man. Get the fucking money, man. Yeah, man, this is fucking motherfuckers shooting at us. Yeah. That's what happens, jerk off. That's what happens, man. Congratulations to the gun owner. That's how you defend yourself. So Bryan Kohberger, silent in court. So judge enters not guilty plea in University of Idaho murder case. Let's watch the action in the courtroom.
Yes. Do you understand the charge? Do you understand the maximum penalty? Yes. Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty? Yes. Okay, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Okay, because Mr. Kohberger is...
So the lawyer said he stands in silence. All right. So that was his plea. He's coherent. But his plea is he's standing in silence. Therefore, the judge enters the plea.
Silent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge. Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. La 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 la, boom 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 boom. So that's all I wanted to say about that one. Well, stay tuned, man. This guy, did he do it? It's going to be the trial of the century. Kohberger, he's a prisoner. He's in jail, and he's not getting out. And he's disciplined and articulate and not drugged out and smart. And he's going to be a hard one to prove. You're not going to get anything out of this guy. William R. Hall says Kohberger. Yeah, he is cold. He's stone cold, right? And he ain't gonna. He's not budging. There's the judge that put in the not guilty plea. These are the people that he allegedly killed. Innocent till proven guilty. I still say that the two girls on each end, the two blonde bookends, were also in the house and went to sleep for 7 hours while the dead bodies were in the house. A lot of things about the incident that don't make sense. And we will definitely see it. So Bryan Kohberger unequivocally declares not guilty through his attorneys and through the judge. So here's the real story today. New York City college professor cursed out anti-abortion students tabling at school. So let's watch.
You're not educating. This is
So the kids are, as I said, so this is Hunter College. It's a New York City college, CUNY, right? And tuition is rather low. It's mostly poor people, but it's a good school. Hunter College is well respected in many areas of education. And so it's not a flimsy, shitty school. People want to go to Hunter College. And so these kids are students there, and they have a table. They're tabling. You're allowed to do that in school, and talk about the things that are important to you. And what was important to them was anti-abortion issues. So a radicalized, angry, tattooed black dyke woman, maybe lesbian, maybe I don't know what she is she's something. And she's angry, right? Watch what happens.
you're not educating. This is propaganda.
You're not educating shit. This is fucking propaganda. Using foul language. You're a college professor. These are 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids. These are children. You fucking animal.
Like anti-trans next?
What are you going to be? Anti-trans next? No.
Is that what you're gonna do next?
I mean, no, we're talking about abortion.
This is
Talking about-
shit. This is violent.
This is violent. This is bullshit. This is violent. What's violent about a table with some literature?
You're triggering my students.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You're triggering my students.
No, you're not. Because you can't even have a baby.
You can't even have a fucking baby, she said. You're a man. Oh, she's a sexist, too. Oh, you're a man. You don't know anything about babies. What about a doctor who doesn't know anything about being sick? What about a criminal justice professor who's never been in jail? It's stupid talk. Right?
So you don't even know what that is.
You don't even know what that is, bitch.
You don't even know what this is. Get this out of here, yo. Fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit, man. Fuck this shit. Yeah, there you go. Now she shows her true color.
Trans next? Is that what you're gonna do next?
I mean, no, we're talking about abortion.
This is shit. This is violent. You're triggering my students.
This is bullshit. This is violent. You're triggering my students. What students? What students are triggered by talking about anti-abortion? So that's the clip of Manhattan, and Fox did a little piece on it. I'll play that. A Manhattan college professor flipped out on a group of students who set up an information table opposing abortion inside the school building, cursing and tossing their pamphlets. Video of the interaction shows her name is Shellyne Rodriguez, an adjunct professor, told the pro-life students they were triggering her students. We heard that. The footage was posted to Twitter by Students for Life of America. A male student behind the table calmly told her, no, we're talking about abortion. And there she is. What was violent other than your own action? And why do you have a hammer and fucking wire cutters? And what are you planning on? What are you planning on? Well, maybe she just builds shit. I'll give it a benefit of the doubt there. Maybe she just builds things. It does look like a lot of criminal tools, a hammer. And there she is. Right, here's a different one. Right? She's got more than one. She has more than one hammer, more than one clipper. See the clippers? She's got a whole collection. I'll put my money back on that one. She's got hammers and wire cutters, big wire cutters. Hunter College, City of New York, right? So it's a community college. Anybody's allowed to be there. And so it's unclear. She's being investigated into the professor's actions. Nothing will happen. Right? Can you only imagine if it was on the other foot? If it was pro-abortion table and a bunch of pro-lifers came in and started flipping the table over. Oh boy, then we'd be on the front page. It would be broadcasted to everybody how horrible these pro-life and how violent they are. But you see how it's you see how twisted that is. Let's listen to Fox talk about it for a second.
Just when you thought college campuses couldn't get any nuttier, well, something happened when pro-life students at Hunter College encountered Shellyne Rodriguez. They say she's a professor.
We're just educating you. You're not educating. This is propaganda. What are you going to do, like anti-trans next? Is that what you're going to do next?
I mean, no, we're talking about abortion.
This is bull. This is violent. You're triggering my students.
You're triggering my students.
No, you're not.
No,
you
you're
can't
not,
even
man.
have a baby. So you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what this is. Get this out of here, yo.
Fuck this shit, man. Fuck this shit.
Unbelievable. Joining me exclusively is the student you just saw, Patrick Ruby. He's a rising junior at Hunter College. Patrick, what set her off in your display? Now, this is a professor.
Hey, Patrick, next time you get on Fox, man, why don't you write some shit down to say? I watched this. He had nothing to say. Come on, man. Come on. This is your moment. Right? You're fucking center stage, man. You're on Fox, motherfucker.
At the college. What is she a professor of, first of all? Do you know?
I'm not sure exactly what she's a professor of. She's in the arts department.
Art.
Oh,
yeah,
shocking.
She's an art teacher.
Yeah, so what was she so offended by?
I think she was mostly offended by our general presence on campus. Our tabling was mainly about chemical abortions and the harms of chemical.
Oh, you know what's interesting too? She talks about you don't even know what that's like. You can't have a fucking baby, but look at the woman. There's a girl next to her, a female. So it's a male and a female at the table, and she decided to go after the man. Interesting as well.
Was mainly
And they're both white, by the way.
about chemical abortions and
Therefore, they have privilege.
the harms of chemical abortions for mothers and for the children involved. But I don't know if she looked at our supplies before she came and started to berate us.
Now, we reached out to the dear professor. We did not hear back. But we did get a statement from Hunter College saying they take this matter very seriously. The provost has opened an investigation into the professor's actions. An investigation? You have the videotape. What do you need an investigation? She called you guys violent. Then she violently cleared your table.
Right.
Like a 2-year-old.
Yep.
Her grammar.
Is it violence? Is that violence when you walk to someone's table and flip over their shit? I guess it could be. I mean, you know, it's inappropriate. Does it raise to the? Is the bar high enough to call it violence? Maybe, but are the pro-lifers' presence at the table, just there sitting there talking about it, is that violent? Of course not.
It wasn't so hot, and her language was, profane. I can't imagine if that was some type of, trans table and some conservative professor, if they still exist.
Sedento says, being young and idealistic is part of growing up. That's right. That's what you're supposed to do, you fucking angry, racist, fucking hypocritical professor. You're supposed to be teaching kids. You're supposed to let kids, speak their mind, and then you can challenge it, but you got to flip their shit in their face. Wrong.
This came into the same thing. Can you imagine what they would be locking Hunter College down in protest tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
More. Give me more, man. Speak, my friend.
So,
Yeah.
Patrick, an hour after
Hey, Patrick.
that happened, a
He's got a nice tie, at least.
student actually stole a model that you had from your table.
So that's all that's going on there. What else we got here? You remember that guy? I wanted to talk about this guy. Anti-aging fanatic. You remember this guy, Johnson? Brian Johnson, 45 years old. He's now, he spends $2 million per year to retain youth. Now he's using his son's blood. So this guy, I'm almost ready to call him a crazy person. Bryan Johnson, 45-year-old software developer, wants to keep his internal organs, including his penis and rectum, functioning youthfully. Enlisted his 17-year-old Talmag, his son, to provide blood transfusions, Bloomberg reported. He also got his father in there, the 70-year-old. Now, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Why mixing the 45-year-old and the 17-year-old, right? Mixing their blood together. This is a strange cat, right? Now, I salute him. He has a lot of money, and he wants to spend his money to try to buy some time on Earth, try to extend his humanity. But there is a point of going overboard, Mr. Johnson. There is, right? You can't spend every waking moment, measuring pill and measuring this and measuring that. That's not really how it works. You have to pay attention to how you feel. Right? What's going on inside? Only you can feel that by sitting quietly. I guess. But nonetheless, blood transfusions. He's commingling his son and his father's blood. Now, Bryan Johnson, your son looks good, but why are you letting your father go on with this fat belly? Look at his father's belly hanging over the belt. Right? You know how much belly fat is in there? You know how elevated his triglycerides are? He's probably borderline diabetic from man fat. That's man belly fat. You can't have that. You got to get rid of that shit. That is direct evidence of heart disease. Direct evidence of pre-diabetic condition. Right? Direct evidence of a higher blood pressure and a higher standing pulse rate. Right? This is direct evidence of not taking care of yourself. So while Bryan is spending millions and millions of dollars to take care of himself, and it looks like his son, 17-year-old son, if you're 17, you don't really need to take care of yourself. You just need to wake up and get out of the house. But the father is definitely feeling the pain right here at 70. But he gave him some blood, man. I give you blood. I'll give my son some blood. You want some fat blood? This is good blood. It's good blood, son. This blood's got some fat in it. It looks like you need some fat in your blood. He then strategically exercises for 1 hour, eats a low-calorie vegan diet. So we know his story. He's got a brain fucking wave machine. The guy's got every single gadget and every single test ever invented by the medical profession, all in line to get to increase his own longevity. Right? That's a noble feat, but. And now they're going to mock his diet. This is what the guy eats. He eats mushrooms and cauliflower and broccoli. I eat all this stuff. Looks like it's maybe some legumes. I don't know what's in there. They're mocking his vegan diet. Some seeds. This is what birds eat. You can put this outside and the birds will eat it. You got to add some fat, man. You got to add like a fucking, some like a quart of olive oil or something. Like you got to cake that shit on, man. You got to get some fat, or put a big. This needs an avocado. That's what it needs. It needs some nuts too. So anyway, that guy's crazy, man. That guy's fucking nuts, man. So let's talk about the debt ceiling. Watch your head. Watch your head, man. because the debt ceiling is getting higher. You don't have to watch your head.
10 days out. So the president has to be serious. And I've been very clear from the very beginning. We are in this problem because when the Democrats took the overall majority just a few years ago, they spent $6 trillion. That brought us inflation.
It brought us inflation, but it only brought us, McCarthy, respectfully. The debt ceiling at the time was, when Democrats took power, was in the 23 trillion area. Now it's 28. So what? Yeah, they jacked it up in 1 year, right? And of course, because pandemic relief, all the money they handed out, you can't blame the Democrats. The Republicans are equally guilty. The capitalist system, the system of checks and balances that we have, is causing it, and there is no way out of it. It's a infinite bubble. The debt will continue to go up.
That brought us banks closing.
They always blame the other guy. You can't. You got to blame everybody. Blame everybody. We're fucked. We're fucked. Tell the truth. We are fucked. We got unlimited debt, and if any of our creditors decide to come and get their money, we're going to have to go to war with them. Watch what happens if China says, you owe us $5 trillion. We want our fucking money now. Watch what happens to China. Saudi Arabia, we have $3 trillion in treasury. We want our money, right? That's why people, give money to a country and buy their debt so that they make a profit. Right? That's why they do it. But what it's come down to in a case like Japan, for example, Japan has no functioning army, no way to defend itself if China or anybody attacks. Right? They don't have the ability to defend themselves. That's why the United States gives cover. We sell military cover in exchange for things like you buy some of our debt with the profit. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure nobody fucks with you. And some of those profits, you got to buy some of our debt, quote, debt, that you'll never get back, and you know it. And if you decide to get it back, right, we pull our cover off the table. Right? How long do you think Japan would last if the United States pulled away from its cover? Now, that's it. Japan is one of the most interesting situations because, in my view, because Japan it uses the United States to protect itself from its enemies at the time in the 1940s. And who were their enemies? I don't know. It's always been China. China and Japan hate each other, right? The governments hate each other. And always have and always probably will. For thousands of years, this has been going on. And so the United States is offering cover to Japan to protect it from China, right? But now times have changed. Japan is open to dealing with China, at least economically. Japan is open to dealing with Russia, at least economically. What the fuck do they need the United States for anymore? You see what could happen if Japan decides to cash in on their debt, right? The United States has a fucking problem because the money doesn't exist. If Japan holds, for example, I don't know how much debt they hold, but if Japan, for example, holds $5 trillion in debt and says, we want our money and we want it now, how is the United States going to pay $5 trillion? They don't have it. They're in debt by $28 trillion. So they could either go to the printing press and print another $5 trillion so that they don't default on Japan, or what do the sneaky Americans always do? They'll vilify Japan. They'll say Japan's a terrorist organization. They're working with Russia. Therefore, we're not going to pay their debt back because if we give them money, they're going to use their money to kill us, right? And they'll start a war. That's how the United States slips out of debt. War. That's what these wars are about. The wars are economic wars. They're not wars over famine and starving people and starving babies. That's fucking bullshit. It's about money. So anyway, but let's listen to the so that's the background, and right now it's very serious. Debt ceiling is very real.
Days out. So the president has to be serious. And I've been very clear from the very beginning. We are in this problem because when the Democrats took the overall majority just a few years ago, they spent $6 trillion. That brought us inflation. That brought us banks closing. But it spent too much. It's a real challenge of where we're going. So we have to spend less next year than we spend this year.
We have to spend less next year than we do this year. Okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So let's see how the market is handling it. It is big news. There's no doubt. They definitely are looking optimistic. Of course they are. Biden is ready to roll over. Biden's already wants a belly rub. I think there's a video of it. Let's see. You got to watch a fucking toilet paper commercial. Charmin. Go easy on your
Investors
ass.
are increasingly on edge as the U.S. gets closer and closer to being unable to pay its bills. If the U.S. does default, it could wreak havoc on the markets and the economy. Here to tell us more is Mark.
It's not just the markets and the economy, but the fucking global bombs, right? Bombs. They'll start throwing bombs at each other. Bombs they will throw at each other if the United States defaults on their debt. That has not happened in modern history. It has not happened, and it probably won't happen as long as we keep spending the $750 billion on military buildup.
Mark Zandi, the chief economist at Moody's Analytics. Mark, it's great to see you again. So we're getting closer and closer and closer to that X date. Talk to us about, one, how much is on the line here and how likely it is that you think we will see a breach.
Oh boy. Well, the probability is non-zero, and it's rising. I mean, if you said to me, "Hey, Mark,"
these guys are cocksmokers. They don't know anything. Moody's analytical chief economist. Yeah. All right, whatever. There was a video of. I forgot. Well, anyway, there was a video of these two guys sitting at the table, Biden. But there it is. There's the imagery for you. There's House Speaker McCarthy and Joe Biden. It looks like they got a John F. Kennedy bust in the background, some beautiful flowers, and I like his shoes. McCarthy wearing looks like some Doc Martens and some very fashionable gray socks. Give him some round of applause for a fashion statement. Leader McCarthy making a fashion statement wearing Doc Martens and gray tube socks to the White House. Go, man. So Wall Street is how we dealing with it? It looks like it's red right now. S&P 500 down 10, Dow down 62, Nasdaq down 33. So let me just give this a little click. And ba-boom. So there you go. Apple Inc.'s multi-billion-dollar deal for U.S.-made Broadcom chips. Technology still. Apple closes in on a $3 trillion stock market valuation. Wow. Fucking Apple. $3 trillion in market cap. Damn. I wish I would have known that, man. In 2002 or 3, early, not long ago, 20 years ago, if you would have gotten in on Apple, the split equivalent back in that day was, well, let's look. I'll give it to you exactly. The chart was probably like, 50 cents on the dollar. 50 cents as opposed to $172. You can find out right now, right? With all the splits, the 1 year chart. Yeah. Let's look at the chart. The 1 year chart. Yeah. So back in 08, I exaggerated that a little bit, but as early as 2007, the split equivalent for Apple was $3.33 a share. If you went back to 1990, it was 45 cents. All right, so if you knew that Apple, 27 cents all the way into 2001, wow. It didn't even experience a bump. It was $1 in 2003. Split equivalent. It was never $1, but it was the split equivalent. But you could see that a investment 20 years ago in Apple at $1.19 would now be $172.67, and nobody buys one share. If you bought 10,000 of these, you'd be, $10 million rich. Right? That's how much. That's the growth. What bank is going to show you 172 times your money? What an outstanding investment. And that's where the money is. Apple. So that was the headline there. What else? What else we got? Yeah, they're all eyes on the debt ceiling. There's nothing to worry about. Savvy investors know that the United States is not going to default. They can't. Not allowed. So anyway. So thank you all for joining me, Mark Sconti reporting. It's a touchy subject today. This fucking radicalized college professors, people not allowed to speak their mind. Even if you disagree, why don't you just go over and talk to the young people at the table and try to understand where they're coming from. They don't like the idea of humans interfering with nature, where humans reproduce. Right? That's normal and natural, and you got these radicalized pigs that say it's. The baby will jeopardize my life, liberty, and my pursuit of happiness. You don't know what it's like to have a baby inside of you. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, white man. It's disturbing, right? You're a professor. You're supposed to be there to hear the student's perspective, not scream your fucking stupid opinion down their throats. So thanks for joining me, Mark Sconti reporting.